Muslims in the West don't date, but some of us low-key do. We just call it the talking stage. But when does getting to know you become a halal situationship?
Are we using the talking stage as a loophole for halal dating? Assalamu alaikum, I'm Hiba.
And I'm Zaid,
You're listening to Diary of a Matchmaker.
a podcast that will take you into our world as matchmakers.
We'll share our experiences and offer advice for the single Muslim.
So let's dive in.
Bismillah.
Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome to another episode.
Assalamu alaikum. So how is the search going for you guys? Are you moving forward? Are things getting easy, inshallah? We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, inshallah, hopefully it is. But that's why we're here, to help you guys out, give you guys some tips, and help you navigate the journey with ease.
And the occasional unloading.
Of course. So I feel like that's what we do a lot of anyways. But why do people drag out the courting phase?
So many reasons. Like, it really depends on the situation.
Okay, did you ever drag out your courting phase like prior to talking to me?
No, but I was dragged, you could say. Like, a conversation with me was dragged.
Really?
Yes.
What were the circumstances behind it? Are you referring to your engagement?
No, not my engagement. It's somebody I started talking to on HOD before we started talking. And it was nice, but it wasn't moving forward. Just the conversations had nothing to do with assessing compatibility. It was like a good morning message, some, cute messages and stuff, but it wasn't moving anywhere.
So the deeper question is, why do people do that? Right? Here we're going to try to give people the benefit of the doubt. I'm not saying everybody comes in with bad intentions and just has a sincere intention of wasting your time and dragging things out. But there is a underlying reason as to why things drag out for however long they do. We were just talking about this prior to recording, and guys, and I know girls get stuck with this label sometimes, but guys also do feel a sense of insecurity, right? Loneliness, insecurity, and they're seeking validation. One way to seek that is by talking to someone, right? And especially if it's a girl that's showing interest in them, that's showing affection, showing some signs of a future relationship, it feels pretty good.
I guess
right?
Emotional addiction.
Emotional addiction.
To be honest, it does feel good. It does feel good to wake up to a message from someone, or like someone asking about you, and it's good. It feels good.
It's a dopamine, right?
It?
I believe it's dopamine, but yeah, you get that shot.
Especially if there is physical attraction.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
But at the end of the day, we are talking to assess compatibility for the purpose of marriage.
Yeah.
We're not
Everything has to have the intention of marriage.
Yeah. So that's why, intention is the most important thing you can have in your entire search. It just sets up the entire interaction.
Yeah. And we say this all the time in our workshops too, and then when we coach people, that there's a reason the Prophet ﷺ said innamal a'malu binniyat. The actions are guided by intentions. And we sometimes we get stuck on matrimonial websites, going to events for so long that we just get stuck in this routine and this rut, and we forget our intention. And sometimes we have to recalibrate ourselves and reset what our intention is, and making sure that when we are taking that step, that our intention guides our actions and also forms boundaries and parameters too.
Yeah.
Right? We'll come to that in a bit.
Yeah. Also, another reason why people get stuck in the talking stages is just fear of missing out. Like, you don't want to lose this person. You have a potential. Yeah. You have something that looks good, right?
Or your friends are all getting married, and you don't want to miss out also.
Exactly. So at least you're like, oh, but I'm talking to someone, right? I'm talking to someone. No, I'm not lonely. I'm not alone.
Yeah.
I'm not single. I'm talking to someone.
Yeah. So it gives you this false sense of
relationship.
Yeah. You're right. So not a cool oxymoron, but a common oxymoron we hear is halal dating. And then there's pseudo halal dating on top of that too. So, what is pseudo halal dating?
It's like when you put the mask or you mask the dating with talking.
Right. And you slap the halal label on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, hey, I'm talking to somebody. But if you're talking to somebody for the purpose of marriage, then it's not really dating, it's more courting. Right?
Yeah. Halal certified.
It's halal certified. Exactly. But people justify talking to somebody for a long time because, hey, we're not physical. We're not doing anything haram. But I know we'll get into this in a little bit. When there aren't boundaries and parameters set, then the devil takes advantage. And then it becomes a slippery slope.
Because you can't control your emotions. You can control your actions, but you can't control your emotions.
Yeah.
I mean, some people have been talking since, I don't know, last Ramadan, and the parents don't even know that this person exists in their lives, right?
Exactly.
What kind of future is this relationship heading
So we'll get into that in a bit, involving family and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we've dedicated some content to this. We did a video about this too, which you guys can check out on our YouTube channel, Get Married with Hiba and Zaid. But we have to distinguish between courting and dating, right? And there is a big difference. And sometimes as Muslims, we forget that our deen does allow the opportunity and time for us to assess compatibility, like talking to somebody, getting to know them, asking the right questions. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
The problem is that we don't set boundaries. We don't set parameters as to what is acceptable and what is not.
Yeah. And then courting just becomes dating.
Right. And then it just becomes like whatever Andrew and Samantha are doing down the street, right?
We'll talk about Andrew and Samantha.
Okay, sorry. Sorry, Andrew and Samantha. So what are some basic boundaries that we set when courting?
So I would say, just like we already said before, this is only for the purpose of marriage. You come with this clear intention, and you make sure that the other person is also on the same page. You don't wanna have a misalignment of intentions.
Right. So number one, intention. It is only for the sole purpose of marriage.
Yeah.
Number two, what is number two?
Number two is that parents are aware and approve. And I'm not saying from the first conversation, the first message, you immediately involve parents. But early on, parents should be aware and involved.
Right. Especially if you're meeting the person out in public.
Of course.
Which leads me to rule number three.
No, rule number three is this should be, whatever meeting should be in an open and public place. You're not meeting, I don't know, in a friend's apartment. You're not meeting just in this deserted park where there are no people there.
Right. And I probably just add a little bit more to that. You're meeting during appropriate hours. You're not meeting 11 p.m. at a coffee shop that's open late.
Of course, yeah.
That's not appropriate.
And if your intention is clear, then everything else becomes easy and clear. You're not showing
and
up.
And there's barakah in it too.
But you're not showing up to this meeting all dolled up and wearing provoking clothes and stuff. You are not you're not, the guy's not showing up with his shirt half open and
which we did see once.
So there is basic courtesy and basic etiquette that comes with courting.
Right. So you dress well, appropriate for the situation, and you bring your best self. And rule number 4,
no physical touching.
Yes,
no shaking hands, no hugging, no petting on the shoulder.
Right, we're not non-Muslims, guys. This is such common sense stuff,
exactly.
But it needs to be said.
Just because you're meeting, it doesn't mean that now everything is okay.
Yeah, you know what? We should give our example. So when Hiba and I met in person in Chicago, we were not engaged. We didn't have our nikah. There was nothing there. Our parents knew. We had our intentions on getting our nikah on that coming Saturday. But when we met, we didn't hug, we didn't hold hands.
We didn't shake hands.
We didn't shake hands. We didn't do anything.
We just walked down the streets.
the streets. We created healthy boundaries.
We
and
went out to eat.
Yeah. But yeah, our parents were involved. Everybody was aware. So we, even though, we could have easily held hands, right? No family was around, but we wanted this to begin. We wanted this to be the beginning of something beautiful.
Exactly.
Of course.
Don't underestimate the power of barakah.
Exactly.
Seriously. Was it hard for you?
No, it wasn't, because I was just had to be patient a few days, and that's it.
Yeah, okay.
I knew what was coming, inshallah.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. So, yes, again, to reiterate, our deen allows for courting and not dating. But lines can get blurred. So, if you are not creating boundaries and parameters, then, it becomes a slippery slope. And the devil gets to whisper in your ear.
Yeah.
Well, the waswas, right?
Waswasa.
Waswasa.
Yeah.
And so first it just becomes a conversation about marriage, and then joking happens, and then flirting, and then you're sharing pictures, and then what pictures are appropriate to share, what things are appropriate to talk about, and what's not appropriate to talk about.
Having like late time FaceTime.
Right, and then you're calling each other 11 at night or at 5 a.m.
And giggling, and like, we're not saying that this should be like a job interview.
Of course
like,
not.
You're going to be yourself, you're going to be open and vulnerable at some point. But as long as your intention is clear, then it will just lead everything else.
Inshallah. Emotional intimacy without commitment is a clear recipe for a heartbreak.
Yeah, of course.
Right?
Of course, yeah.
So you might get comfortable to the point where you're just going to start sharing everything. Your Spotify username and password, your Netflix login, your trauma, everything, because, you're just getting warm and cozy with this person. But at the same time, you haven't asked the important questions.
You can't even assess, is this relationship going anywhere?
Right, because like we said in the beginning, it feels good. You're living in the moment, right? And you don't know how long this is going to last. So let's skip the important stuff, because I'm just seeking that dopamine hit.
And like we said, guys, we both have been there. So we're not coming with this like judgmental look that, it feels good, like emotional satisfaction.
Yeah.
We understand.
I've been there. My journey spanned 9 years, as I've mentioned multiple times in previous episodes. And that takes a toll on you. And it's not easy being alone for 9 straight years. And so in one situation, I remember I was talking to a girl who was in another state. We liked each other, but there was always this nagging feeling that, I don't know if I find this girl attractive or not. And I just kept going with the flow because I didn't think anybody else would come along. It felt good in the moment. And they were willing to overlook some very personal circumstances of mine that were not necessarily, quote unquote, conducive to marriage, like immigration, financial stability, and things like that. So it felt good to have that validation and somebody showing interest in me. So it got to the point where families got involved to an extent, and there was a meeting in person. And then it got to a point where I said, and this was, I think, maybe 2 or 3 months in, I just ended it. And I dragged it on longer than I should have. And of course, it's one of many regrets I have. But it was all a learning experience, because as difficult as it sounded, especially if you're a guy that's getting rejected over and over and over again, for whatever reason it might be, financial instability, immigration, maybe your height, maybe you're a shorter guy and you're getting rejected, whatever it might be, take it from somebody who's been there, and don't pursue these things as a means of validation. All right? Always have your intentions clear, and always come back to that intention, and make sure that those intentions are guiding your actions.
Now, someone might ask, don't you guys feel hypocritical? You are lecturing people and telling them what to do and what not to do when you yourself have made these mistakes. It's a legitimate question.
Yes and no. I mean, the reason we're sharing all of these things is because we've made these mistakes, and we don't want you guys to make the same mistakes as us. So we're sharing these things not just to put our sins on public display and things like that. No, we genuinely want you guys to have your journeys filled with ease, to find the right partner, and not waste your time talking to somebody, seeking that dopamine hit, seeking validation, seeking all of these things that won't benefit you. And essentially not just wasting your time, but wasting the time of the person you're speaking to.
Like, if I can give my younger self an advice, I would give her the same advice we give, like, in this episode and other episodes. because I don't know, like with age, with experience, with mistakes comes, should I say wisdom, or does it sound pretentious?
With age comes wisdom.
Yeah.
Not to say we're very wise people,
or to say that we're old. We're not that old.
But alhamdulillah, we have learned a lot over the years through our personal experiences as well as our professional experiences.
Yeah.
And that has really led us to shaping our service and helping people who need it.
And shape this podcast.
Yeah. Of course. If you're overwhelmed and burdened and just don't know where to seek help, let us help you. We can be your personal matchmakers. Visit us at halalmatch.ca and book a free call with us. So we get this question a lot where people ask, so what is an appropriate timeline or time frame we should use when speaking to somebody and deciding about marriage? But the thing is, there's no formula. There's no one size fits all that works for everyone. For us, we made a decision, I think, after 4 weeks.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, within those 4 weeks, we talked almost every day for a few hours.
Yeah.
And
we asked each other's lots of questions.
And we didn't waste time talking about the weather, travel destinations, our favorite cuisine. We asked very in-depth questions, scenario-based questions. And every time it was just like, okay, this is a good sign. It was a green flag, and it moved us further along.
Yeah.
So we did a very intense level of compatibility within those 4 weeks. So the question to ask yourself is, how much time are you willing to invest? And ultimately, it's about quality, not quantity.
I was just going to say that.
Yes.
Like, you could talk to someone for a year, but if all you're talking about is just like silly stuff and shallow stuff, then this is not good. And
it's not going to help you.
It's not going to help you. And you could talk to someone for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and just ask, like you said, intentional, in-depth questions and determine within that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you're coming in ready with because when I started talking to you, I came ready with my questions.
Yeah, I know.
Right. I was like, boom, boom, boom. And if you pass it was kind of like a checklist, not a superficial checklist, but a checklist of questions where I knew if you answered it the way that, if you answered it the wrong way, I knew you wouldn't be a fit for me. Right? Whether it was about lifestyle, religious values, things like that. But you passed kind of every checkpoint for me. So we were like, okay, this is moving along. Okay. And then you came ready with your questions too.
To be honest, in the beginning, I didn't have specific questions. But when I saw that you had specific questions, I immediately started forming mine. Yeah. And but it didn't, at least for me, it didn't feel like this guy is just asking me to determine and like a job interview. And,
right. I never treated it like a job interview.
Like a conversation. It was everything flowed.
It flowed, yes. And I was very sensitive to that, and I didn't want you to feel like you were being interrogated.
Yeah.
So, yes, I always tried to make it fun. And like whenever we would jump on a call, I say, hey, guess what? Or what do you think of this?
Yeah.
Or like there was always some sort of entertaining element to it.
But, besides us, I remember some of our clients, like specifically this one case where she said that she and her ex, before they got married, they talked for a year. And they were together for a year. And then divorce happened after like 2 or 3 months.
And you would think like a year of talking to somebody, you would get to know a lot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, minus the fact that you haven't lived together, but you can check off a lot of things and assess in different ways whether or not this person is truly a match for you.
With the exception of cases where the person just reveals their true colors after marriage. And this does happen.
Yeah, this does happen, but those are very rare cases, in my opinion. Yeah. So men and women, they sometimes have their own timelines, I guess. For men, sometimes men keep dragging the courting phase for longer than necessary because it feels, like I said, it feels good to talk to somebody, but they're not ready at the same time, right? Financially, maybe they're just kind of tying up loose ends. Their immigration status is still in limbo. There could be a lot of different factors.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you don't need to have those things crossed off in order to be ready for marriage. So what am I saying exactly?
Well, if you know for sure that at this moment, at this time, you are not ready for marriage, you physically or literally can't get married, then don't start talking to girls.
Of course not.
Don't start wasting people's times and
same
emotions.
thing applies to girls too.
Same thing.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to girls. Why girls like prolong talking stages? But I think it's more of a stigma, a guy's stigma that they prolong.
The guys waste the girls' time.
Girls want to get the ball moving. Are you interested in marriage or not? That's all I want to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the one complaint I always hear from girls, like, oh, this guy wasted my time. This guy, I found out he's already married. I found out this about him, and he wasn't open in the beginning. So, guys, stop doing that.
Yeah, I know it's a cliche. No, what I'm about to say right now, I know it's a cliche and it's been overused, this analogy, but do you want somebody to do this to your sister, waste her time and her emotions? Right? And
on the flip side, sisters use long talking stages to test the guy's patience. Like, he has to jump through 20 different hoops, and it's an obstacle course. It's like Tough Mudder. And then if they can make it through the 15K obstacle course, all right, now he's good enough for marriage.
Yeah, I guess they have their own mind games and stuff.
Yeah,
and
that's why girls always get slapped with the label of she's playing hard to get.
Yes.
Yeah. So some interesting phrases that we come across that's worth mentioning. There's textationships, couples who never meet but just send memes for like 6 months, or like emojis and just cute messages. And then there's the ghost contract. People disappear, and this
is very common.
This is very common.
Yeah. We dedicated an entire episode
to ghosting.
Yeah.
So people just disappear, and then after 6 months, they come back and say, "Salam, how's it going? How you been?"
It's like nothing happened.
Nothing happened. And then there's the halal catfish.
Yeah.
What's the halal catfish?
So when like someone presents themselves as this pious, super religious person, but then once things become serious, they reveal their true colors.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, family delays. This is one that doesn't get enough attention, I think. Where in some cases, parents do drag their feet. And parents sometimes don't want to be honest with their son or daughter and say, hey, I think this person's a terrible match for you. I don't like this guy, or I don't like this girl. And they just kind of are like wishy-washy about it, and they brush it off. And meanwhile, the girl or guy's time is invested in this, and they want to move things forward, but the parents are just holding out for someone better.
Or like you said before we started recording, we need to get the older sister married first, and
in Desi
then
culture,
yeah. Or we have like, I don't know, a wedding happening in a month, so let's put this on hold until we have the wedding of the other sister.
And then a family emergency happens, and then something else happens,
and Ramadan comes, and Eid comes,
because it's haram to talk about marriage in Ramadan. Like, come on, man.
Actually, but you know what? I've noticed some of our clients do ask to put their search on hold during Ramadan. But
I don't understand why.
I don't exactly. It's a month of barakah, like it's a month of Quran, but at the same time, you still go to work, you go to school, you do invest in searching.
Yeah.
So
why is it that like ibadah has to come at the cost of marriage?
This is also ibadah.
It is, but people don't usually look at it that way, right? They see as marriage as just a like a halal fulfillment of desires. But it's not ibadah. Right?
We're talking about a full month out of your life.
Yeah. Well, I don't know why people do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand not having the wedding during Ramadan.
Yeah,
that part I get.
Or like, okay, I want to go off the apps for Ramadan.
Okay.
Yes, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
But like, if something good, a good potential comes across, like you come across during Ramadan, don't delay it.
You know what? I think I disagree with you on that. Even during Ramadan, keep your matrimonial account active. Keep searching. Keep the work going. Don't put it on hold, even for Ramadan.
But the apps could end up just wasting your time. Long conversations, and you don't know who's serious.
The apps, you shouldn't be on the apps to begin with. I mean, that's just designed for dating. But I'm talking about like legitimate avenues. Rishta aunties, matchmakers. I'm talking about matrimonial websites. Keep that work going.
Yeah. So my opinion, my take on timelines is if you're talking for 2 or 3 months and you still can't determine if this is worth pursuing or not, then it's probably not.
So I disagree with you a bit on that, because for me, every circumstance, every situation is different.
No, of course, I'm not talking about exceptions. Like in case of, I don't know, long distance, and like he had to travel for work, and like she has she had some exams to finish and they're taking, I don't know, 2-week break and stuff. I'm not talking about these situations.
Right. I think that like everybody is kind of has their own circumstances, whether it's school, family commitments, and things like that. But to me, regardless of the circumstances you're in, unless they're very dire circumstances that requires your 100% attention, if marriage is important enough to you, you will carve out time out of your day to make that work.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And we were talking about this before, if people are just relying on Zoom calls to assess compatibility, or you guys are just scheduling appointments, WhatsApp video calls or calls on the weekends, and let's just talk for an hour. And then you guys talk on a Saturday, 5 p.m., you have that 1 hour Zoom call. And then after the Zoom call, it's like, yeah, it went well. Let's schedule another Zoom call. And then the next Zoom call is scheduled for the next Saturday at 5 o'clock. And you're just relying on these Zoom calls to assess compatibility, get to know each other. Like, it's going to fizzle out, right? Because there's no reinforcement after the Zoom call. Because sometimes there's this fire burning. There's this interest and desire, excitement, right? And you want to build off of that. And we've seen cases with our own clients where there is no follow-up, there is no investment of time and energy, and things just fizzle out. And then they come back to us saying, can you find somebody else?
Yeah.
Right?
But there's nothing wrong with Zoom calls. I
No,
mean,
not
our
at all.
entire courting was over Skype, right? But it's like the frequency and the quality of the call.
It's quality over quantity.
Yeah, but going back to my previous point, if you've been talking for 2 months, for 3 months, let's say 2 months, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And like you can't, I'm not talking, okay, within 2 months you have to decide I'm marrying them or I'm moving on. But within 2 months you feel like we're still in the same spot. I still can't get an understanding of this person. Do we have any level of compatibility or not? If you can't have these basic things after 2 months, then
I guess you're right. I mean, the deeper questions to be asking is, what have you done within those 2 months?
Exactly.
Right? What questions have you asked? How much time has been invested? Have parents been involved at that stage yet? If those elements aren't there within, I would say, 2 months, then it's a huge red flag. So some practical advice for you guys. Number one, there is no shame in walking away. If your intentions are clear from the get-go, and you've set the appropriate boundaries, and like you mentioned about that, 2 months have been invested and things are not moving along, and you're just seeing constant red flags, then yes, it's definitely appropriate to walk away.
Yeah.
There's no...
You should walk away.
You should walk away.
Yeah, the sooner you walk away, the better. Yeah. Number 2 is ground the entire process in Islam, in our deen. Our deen encourages clarity. And قولوا قولا سديدا in Surah Al-Ahzab. Like, say something clear. Don't be wishy-washy. So yeah, be clear with your words, be clear with your emotions, with your intentions.
And number 3, involve families sooner. Yes, there's no reason why 2 people should be talking for 2 months and families don't know. How quick did we involve our parents? I would say by week 3-ish.
Well, depends what you mean by involving them. In terms of them talking to you, then
So let me clarify. So that's a good point. Let me clarify that. So both of our parents knew that we were using resources and matrimonial websites to try to get married. But
in my case, from the very beginning, I told them I'm talking to this guy.
Yes, I didn't tell my parents that I found somebody. I was talking to her because it wasn't necessary at that point, because I didn't want to get my parents excited. But I would say closer to week 3 of us talking and courting, We were just like, yes, this is serious. I think it's time to involve parents.
I think your mom was suspecting something because you used to like go on the balcony and like have these long conversations.
Yeah.
Moms always know.
Yeah. So, yes, you should be involving parents sooner, at least at the bare minimum. Let them know that you're talking to somebody, and that you are applying appropriate boundaries and things like that.
And once things like progress a little bit more, you're gonna introduce them to this person.
Yeah. You know, I think we've addressed this in the parents episode, but parents do need to have a level of trust in their children, right? And when parents, especially when parents put that on matrimonial websites, I'm searching for my son, I'm searching for my daughter, it comes across as like, you know, you just don't trust your children sometimes.
Or your children are just too busy. Like, we received an email the other day from a parent.
Yeah.
His daughter is
more than a week ago, yeah.
Yeah, his daughter was finishing up with, I don't know, her master's or something. And she told them to look for her because she doesn't have time.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, inshallah, best of luck to your daughter. When she's ready to look, we would talk to her. We would love to talk to her.
At this point, we want to ask you guys a question. Some of you might have longer talking stages than actual marriages last. And that's not good because courting is not meant to... We're not non-Muslims that date and date and date forever until we finally move in with each other. And then 20 years later, we realize, hey, we're just common law. We don't need to get married.
Halal common law.
Right? Courting should be short. It should be with the intention of marriage. And it should provide some sort of substance and value. So hopefully you guys can apply some of the things that we've mentioned and get some sort of value out of your courting phase.
Okay, so before we leave you guys, what's the longest talking stage you've ever had? And looking back, do you think it was worth it or not really? How will you do it differently in your next relationship? Let us know. You know how to do that. Just leave a comment. And inshallah, we will see you in the next one.
Assalamu alaikum.